guys, and welcome to another episode of the YouTube Show with your boys. So it's been a while. It's been a minute.
I guess you wonder where I've been.
I've been gone for a while. I'm back at school, so that's something. I was back in school actually. Well, I still am in school. What am I saying? I don't know. I can't speak English. Anyway. If you were wondering where I was, I'm back at school, and yeah, school is just taking up a lot of my time, so I'm very sorry about that. If you were interested in the content that I bring out, and I haven't been bringing it out in a while, I humbly apologize to all one of you watching this video. So what sparked this video is the other day I had realized that it had been a year since I procured a PlayStation 5. Unlike some people who have been unlucky, it has been very tough to get the PlayStation 5. It has been extremely hard. I don't know how I got it so easily. That's not a brag. I don't know how I got it so easily, but I didn't have as much of a hassle as other people have, and yeah, I've been enjoying the console. Like, this thing is amazing. The PlayStation 5 is an amazing console, but there are some things that I wish I had known before I bought a PlayStation 5, and these are things that I wish I had known just as a general consumer who doesn't really know much about like the other things that the console can do and all these things, just the normal stuff that the average Joe like you and I would think about before buying the PlayStation 5. And I am in South Africa, so obviously these videos may have a South African context, obviously. So I'm just going to be giving you guys a few things that I wish I had known about the PlayStation 5 before I got the PlayStation 5. And these are also going to make reference to like me being an Xbox person for the past 10 years. I recently got rid of my Xbox like a few months ago, but prior to that I was an Xbox person for about 11 years to be precise, because I got it in primary school, my last year of primary school, and I had the Xbox 360, I had the Xbox One, and quite briefly I had the Series S. So today I'm just going to tell you like some things I really wish I knew about the PlayStation 5 before I got myself the PlayStation 5. Firstly, I must say that I'm a huge fan of this console. It's beautiful, it's powerful, and above everything else, it's simply amazing. It's just those few things that I think could have helped me out in what I wanted in a console. And the first thing that I really wish that this console could have fixed or could have had is its app situation. Now, on the PlayStation 5, the apps, it is mightily understocked. The PlayStation is by no means an entertainment system as the Xbox is made out to be. Heck, there was a time when the Xbox was more of an entertainment system rather than a gaming system. You remember those times when a video game console was focused on being a home theater rather than a gaming console. However, there are some apps that I really would have loved to see on the PlayStation 5. One in particular is the DSTV app. I am in South Africa, and most of the South African TV shows are on the DSTV app. So it's the only place where I can get the local shows, and also where I could watch soccer, football if you want to be sexy. The other app that I really would have loved to have seen on the PlayStation 5 is Showmax. It does not have Showmax. And also some other interesting apps that could have just made the console so much more interesting rather than more than it is already. And I hope that they get implemented in the future, as these were in the PlayStation apps before. So I really don't know what happened. Next is the lack of backwards compatibility. The PlayStation 5 has backwards compatibility. If you don't know what backwards compatibility is, basically it's that you can play older version games, older console games on the new gaming consoles. So you could play a game from your Xbox One on your Xbox Series X. And the PlayStation 5 does have backwards compatibility. However, it's mostly with the PlayStation 4 games. Unlike its foe, the Xbox Series X, which is compatible with almost any video game created under the Xbox umbrella, As a fan of a lot of games, and someone who enjoys the highs of finding an old nostalgic game at the second-hand store, this was quite an L for me. Most of the backwards compatibility for the PlayStation 5 is with the PlayStation 4 games. The rest you can find on the PlayStation Store if you're lucky. However, some games unfortunately do not have that non-physical availability anymore. I really wish that the PlayStation in the future can fix this, can maybe add it so that we can play PlayStation 3 games, PlayStation 2 games, and maybe PlayStation 1 games, especially if we find physical copies. Like I said, you can find them on the PlayStation Store app, some of them though. Here's an interesting question for you though. Which game do you guys miss from your childhood that you wish you could play on any next-gen consoles? Please tell me in the comments. The next is the hard drive. Now, games are getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Heck, Call of Duty at this point needs its own hard drive. One thing I wish I had known prior to coming to the PlayStation is that you will need space. This is not a joke. Now, even on the Xbox, I still needed a lot of space. I had a hard drive. I'm actually using the hard drive that I used on the Xbox for the PlayStation 5. However, prior to getting one, my space got filled in about a week. It was crazy. I don't know how people do it. Because a lot of people usually they don't have the hard drive and they delete games and download games again. I don't get it. The PlayStation 5 games can only be played on the console, meaning if they're on the hard drive, you would need to transfer them to the console. And where I am, network is not very quick. So if you delete a game because you don't have space and you download it again, that's just time consuming. It's quite annoying. I don't know about you, but for me, that is very annoying. So get yourself a hard drive. I suggest you get yourself a hard drive or an SSD, which is much better. It's a bit more pricey, but it's much better. And it can help you with your storage problems. And now you can stop deleting your games to download newer ones, and you can just transfer them. Now, transferring is also quite a bit of a hassle, but it's much better than having to delete your entire game and downloading it again. I mean, it's simple. This one actually broke my soul when I heard it. PlayStation 4 controllers do not work for the PlayStation 5 games. The PlayStation 5 has an amazing controller. Now, as someone who has always had the standard console controller and never a special edition with all these new features and all this sexy artillery, having a controller like the DualSense really changed my life. The haptic feedback and adaptive controller triggers have made me realize that I cannot go back to another controller, to the standard controllers. However, my bank account would not agree with me. Therefore, I like the fact that I could play any games on the Xbox with any controller on the Xbox, meaning I could just buy myself a cheap second-hand or even a third-party Xbox One controller, and I'll be able to play multiplayer games using that controller, or just simply have an extra controller lying around. This is not possible with the PlayStation 5, however. The PS5 games come with the features that require the DualSense features. Therefore, you cannot play every game with the PS4 controller. In the future, I do hope that there is a way to turn off stuff like haptic feedback and adaptive triggers so that the games can be more accessible with PS4 controllers. Highly doubt this will work because they want you to pay, but this would be very much of a convenience if it did. The only inconvenience is when I want to play multiplayer games on the PlayStation 5 games like WWE 2K22 with someone. I can't do that because it needs a PlayStation 5 controller. Now, this is where the weirdness comes in for me, because I get it with a game like FIFA where the haptic feedback stuff, you can actually feel it. But when you're playing a game like WWE 2K22, none of that stuff was incorporated. So I'm basically playing with a normal controller. That's the whole shtick about this PS5 controller. So I really wish that in the future they just take that into consideration. Otherwise, I'm still more into the single player experience, so it does not really bother me as much as you would think. Finally, without a 4K UHD OLED LED ABC 123 Do Re Mi TV, you're not getting the best experience. Speaking of single player games, the PlayStation has an incredibly, listen to me right now, it has an incredibly large library of single player games. So much so that I am so backlogged with games I still want to play, from upcoming ones to current ones to old ones. The library is amazing. And these are not only PlayStation exclusives. There are many cross-gen games to play and they all look so amazing. But if you're not playing with a 4K TV that will take advantage of the PlayStation's capabilities, hell, of the Xbox Series X's and the S's capabilities, you're not getting the best experience that you could be getting. The games look amazing, whether they're old or they're new. Taking advantage of this is quite detrimental. The colors pop, the visuals are amazing, and if you're stuck on 1080p, you're putting ketchup on Wagyu beef. It really does not go together. So I really wish that I had known prior to getting the PlayStation 5 that if I'm just gonna be playing on a standard television, I'm not doing what it's supposed to be doing. I have played it on a 4K TV before, and it does look amazing, I will tell you that. So I will suggest, if you are going to buy one of these consoles, think about getting yourself an amazing TV in the future as well. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that I can get more videos in, because I really like this editing thing, I don't want to lie, but I feel like it's so time consuming and stuff that I can't get as much as I want to get in, and sometimes I want to edit in a certain way that when it just doesn't come off on the screen, it doesn't really sit well with me. But I do wish that I do get more content coming in. I do hope that I get more stuff. The PS Plus is actually usable now, so I'm thinking maybe I can get in some broke gamer stuff like I used to do with the Game Pass thing, and other interesting stuff. Who knows? Maybe perfume stuff, maybe unboxings, I don't know. And yeah, just stay tuned, and I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much, and please never forget that you are so much more than what you think you are. Keep up and keep moving. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, consider checking out the channel, and do not forget to like and subscribe, and please help me feed my kids.